If you're over 40 and you feel like you're getting nowhere with that stubborn belly fat, it's not your fault. Your hormones are just not playing fair anymore. And I'm going to show you how simply walking, yes, walking, can start working for you again. So let's turn your daily steps into hormone-friendly, fat-burning strategy that helps you move the needle. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lydia Martinez, Ebling, certified fitness and nutrition specialist and hormone health coach for women over 40. And today I'm going to dive into 8 simple walking hacks that can help women over 40 melt belly fat faster, without overtraining and without compromising your hormones. All right, let's go. So you walk regularly, or maybe you're running a lot, you're trying to amp up the cardio and you're not really getting the result. Walking is one of the biggest overlooked and underrated activities. I always say, don't underestimate the power of a good stride. Now, you might know, or I'm assuming that you know, that walking can improve your blood pressure or lower your blood pressure. It can help with insulin resistance. It can help with lowering your cortisol. It helps with your lymphatic system. It helps with de-stressing your body altogether. But it can also help with weight loss. And sometimes people are like thinking that they have to do a lot. And you heard me say it before, sometimes more is just more. You're going out and you're trying to do all this heavy cardio, or you're running on the treadmill, or you're running marathons, and you're wondering why you're not getting results, why you still have that belly fat. And I'm going to explain a little bit to you about that. But I also wanted to share some studies with you about walking for you to understand how powerful it really is. And it only takes 20 minutes a day. Really, that's it. So let me share this with you, because you probably are thinking maybe that you don't believe that walking can help you with that body fat. But there was a sustainable long-term weight loss, that's what they called it. And in the Journal of Nutrition found walking for just 20 minutes a day for 12 weeks causes people to lose a half a pound every week. Now, this is really important. That half a pound was actual fat mass. That's what you want. You want to drop fat. You just don't want to drop weight. And it improved insulin sensitivity versus those who didn't walk. That was the summary of it. So you want insulin sensitivity, right? You don't want to be insulin resistant. Then what about steps? Do you count your steps? I'm big on saying how many steps. I always try to go for 15,000 steps a day. And I know it sounds like a lot, but when you start tracking and focusing on the things, your movement throughout the day, you're going to realize it's really not a lot, even if you're sitting in front of the desk a lot. But weight loss study with daily action. Okay, American Journal of Health Promotion and even the Heart Association found that 10,000 steps a day, what they did is they took overweight adults and they prescribed them 10,000 steps a day for 6 months. And on average, the participants, they walked 4,000 steps, which is about 1 mile a day. So they didn't meet the 10,000, they didn't meet that goal, but they still lost a half a pound a week and kept it off. See, it actually works. Just imagine if they actually got in the 10,000 steps, what they could have achieved. So walking can help you drop that belly fat. It's really important for you to understand that. Okay, so let's talk about these 8 walking hacks and how you can use them to start melting off that belly fat without stressing and without overtraining. Okay, first one is fasted morning walks. Why is this important? Because cortisol is highest in the morning, and that's what you want. It's supposed to wake you up. Cortisol, it's been given a bad rap. We know it is a stress hormone. They coined it the hormone of defeat. But it's really important because without cortisol, you're not alive, right? So it wakes you up in the morning, and it's highest in the morning, and it's a hormone that's built for movement. So this is the perfect time if you can fit in 20 to 30 minutes. That's one thing that I do every morning. That's my first focus. Well, first focus is coffee, I drink my apple cider vinegar, have coffee, then I go for a walk. But it's the great time to do it because it's going to help use up that cortisol and set you up throughout the day. Number 2, walk slower than you think. Now, you don't want to be at a slug's pace. Sometimes I'll go out, and being in Florida, I've talked about this before, because we are kind of like a retirement community. people sometimes move kind of slow. And I said, if they move any slower, they'd be burning calories in reverse. So you don't want to be that slow, but you don't have to be out of breath. Just a steady pace is going to help lower your cortisol, but it's also going to help with your blood pressure. And one thing that I talk about a lot or mention a lot is your lymphatic system. So it's going to help with getting that lymphatic system moving. Your lymphatic system helps get rid of the detoxification. It's going to help lower inflammation. So a nice steady pace where you can carry on a conversation, but it's still an effort. You don't want to be out of breath and you don't want to be stressed. Number 3, you can do a weighted vest or light hand weights or even ankle weights to add a little bit resistance, but without overdoing it. And I want to jump to the weighted vest for a second because this is very popular right now. But there is a caveat. If you have cervical issues or muscle tension issues or spine issues, you want to pay attention to the type of vest that you actually use and be careful before you start doing it. Make sure that you check with your healthcare provider, your chiropractor, checking with your spine and what's going to be a great option for you. But now, the weighted vest. That extra resistance, it's going to help force your bone strength posture, but it's also known for helping calm down your central nervous system. Think about weighted blankets. Why are they popular? Why are they important? Because it brings a calmness to the body, and a weighted vest can do the same thing. And not only does it do that, but it's going to help burn more calories and give your body a little resistance. And again, that posture, it's forcing you to stand up and use your core. So that's really cool. Now, when you think about light hand weights or weights on those ankle weights, well, hand weights, it's going to give you added resistance. And if you pay attention to the movement, that actually is going to increase your calorie burn as well and help shape your shoulders, your arms, your biceps, because it's giving you a little bit of resistance. But that's something else. When you have that weight, it automatically forces your core to kick in, and that's going to improve your posture. So there's a lot there with the weighted vests or like carrying light dumbbells, light weights, or those ankle weights. Try it. Number 4, post-meal walks. You just need 10 minutes. 20 minutes is even better. It's going to help improve your digestion. It's going to help lower the insulin and make you more insulin sensitive. It's also going to help break down that blood glucose. But it helps with digestion by helping the food move through your body and breaking things down. But this is something that's really big in our household. I love it because it's not just about your digestion. It's not just about lowering your insulin and blood glucose levels. Yes, we want to burn that belly fat and get rid of it, but it's also family time. One of the things that we do often is we try to do it every night, but it doesn't always happen that way. But we eat our dinner and we just go for a simple walk. And even on Thanksgiving, when the whole family's together, holiday time, so often people eat this really big Thanksgiving meal. And then what do? They're unbuttoning their pants and they're laying on the couch and they're falling asleep, doing whatever. Our family, what we do is that we clean up the food for a little bit, then we go for a walk because this is a perfect time. Why do I bring up Thanksgiving? Because it's a time for us to really connect with each other. So this is something you don't have to wait for the holiday. But connecting, I know we're talking about belly fat, but I think this is something that's going to also help lower your cortisol, or hopefully when you're connecting with your family. But we do it on Thanksgiving because then we know that the Christmas lights start to come out. So we walk around the neighborhood and look at the Christmas lights, and then we go back and we have our dessert. So that's a good plan. So that's a good strategy for you. You might want to try that. But it's going to improve your digestion. 10 minutes is all you need. 20 minutes is even better. That's what studies show. Now, number 5, you can do a prayer walk or a mindful walk or a de-stressing walk. One of the things that studies show that just 15 minutes of green space, what does that mean? It means being outdoors can lower your cortisol up to 14%. That's huge. Lower your blood pressure. It's going to calm you. I am big on walking. I always have been. I had a dog for 16 and a half years, and that was just something we did. And even after he passed, I still walk on a regular basis. But I use it not just for family time or to burn calories and my lymphatic system, all the things I already mentioned, but I really use it for my me time. I think things through. Okay, what things do I need to get done for the day? That's why in the morning it's really important. It really sets up the day for me. But I'm like, okay, what can I get done? I talk to God, I have a conversation, I think about things that I'm grateful for. So you can use that for that me time, but also you use it as a de-stressor. Now, maybe you get a little tiffed, you get a little annoyed with something, or maybe it's that you are stuck on a topic. And what do I mean by a topic? There's something that you're trying to figure out, but you just can't seem to get it. Going for a walk is a perfect time. Now, I know I live in Florida. I have great weather, so it's easy for me to go outside at any time of the day because I work for myself. But you don't have to, if you don't want to go outside, the weather is not conducive, maybe is that even the right word? The weather is not great. Well, you can get a walking pad. That's one of the things I'm going to suggest. It's not the same, when you're trying to have that prayerful, thoughtful, mindful type of walk, but at least getting that movement in can help reset your mindset. Walking on an incline. Now, if you're walking outside, you don't have to worry about it because there's natural terrain and you're doing that bilateral movement. And that bilateral movement of having something uneven actually forces your brain to work more, and it actually literally lowers your cortisol because you're doing, right foot, left foot, that bilateral movement. Isn't that kind of crazy? But incline can be great. If you're not outside, like I just mentioned, that you don't live in a place where the weather is great all the time, you can go to the gym, get on the treadmill, but also that you can just get a walking pad. A walking pad is great because it's an inexpensive investment. And because it's small, it's a walking pad, it's not just meant for you to get on and start running. You can move it around. It's like 40 pounds. You can put it underneath your bed. You can put it underneath your couch. You can move it out of the way. So it makes it really simple. But always put it at an incline. Why do you want to put it at an incline? Because this is going to increase your calorie burn, but it also causes that resistance. And that resistance is natural to walking outside. But not only that, it's going to help work your glute muscles. Yes, and think higher butt. And it's going to work your hamstrings. So that means better shapely legs. That's something that I always want. So simple walking pad at an incline, 1, 2, 3, whatever you can handle. Just don't have it completely flat. Next is consistency over intensity. Talked about it before. Your body responds to the things that you consistently do, not the things that you do perfectly just sometimes. And creating that daily habit, whenever you think about it, just get up and move. They talk about it in the US right now that sitting has become the new smoking. And sitting for 20 minutes is equivalent to smoking 1 cigarette. And I think that's completely nuts. But you should be aware of that. So that means get up and move, set a timer. And what I'm really going to suggest is that if you don't, start tracking your steps. I know for me, like I said, I've always been a walker because I had a dog and I just kept that routine, so made it simple. But when I invested in a watch that actually tracks my steps, man, my steps went through the roof. Because I realized how much I was moving, and then I started setting goals. I'm like, well, if I'm doing 7,500 steps, I can do 10,000 steps. And if I do 10,000 steps, I can do 12,000 steps. And then, now I have a goal of 15,000 steps, which sounds like a lot. But if you're just thinking about that daily movement throughout the day, whenever you can, think about just the things of putting things away right away. How does that add to your steps? It really does add to your steps. Instead of taking the laundry and sitting it on the steps to put it away later, do it right away. And again, going back to that tracker, you're going to start to notice just doing things around your house naturally. When you think about it right at that moment, are going to boost up your steps. And then, of course, going back to tracking it and consistency, when you have something that identifies the amount of steps that you're doing, now you have that mental note and your brain starts to say, okay, did I get my 4,500 steps in? Did I get my 5,000 steps in? Did I get 10,000 steps in? Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. Last, walking with purpose. You can look at this as a time to listen to a podcast. Like I mentioned already, I will in the morning go for a walk and I think about my day and I plan out my day. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's something that can keep your mind off of the actual action. Because if you're walking on a treadmill or a walking pad, sometimes it can be really boring. Like my husband he hates walking. I shouldn't say he hates walking, he just doesn't really enjoy it in the sense of going out and doing a distance. But if he puts in a podcast or one of his favorite sermons, he'll be walking for forever. So I'm like, where did you go? He goes, oh, I was listening to Stephen Furtick, or I was listening to the Mind Pump guys. And it just keeps them going. So think about that. Things that you can do, you can kind of multitask and, de-stress. You can let your mind go and really, get the job done of what you're looking to do. And that's burn the calories, improve insulin sensitivity so you can drop that belly fat. Walking isn't just a workout, it is a mindset reset. And with these 8 simple walking hacks, you can turn your daily ritual, your daily activities into something that's going to help you burn calories, melt that belly fat, support your hormones, support your health, and fuel your purpose. I would love for you to drop the shoes emoji in the comment to show your commitment to putting one of these 8 simple walking hacks to the test. So get to stepping and fulfilling your purpose.